friends! Today we're going to talk about a topic that many people have actually asked me advice on, which is how to lose or gain weight. I don't like the term diet, so we're going to be using the words cut, maintain, and bulk instead. Cutting is when you're in a caloric deficit, meaning you burn more calories than you take in. Maintenance is when these two numbers are about equal, and bulking is when you eat more calories than you burn. Cutting is used for weight loss and fat loss mainly, and then bulking is used for either eating disorder recovery or muscle gain. Some more terms we should get acquainted with are BMI, BME, and TDEE. Now, the BMI is your body mass index. The body mass index is basically a scale that tells you whether you're in a healthy range or underweight, overweight, etc. You can Google BMI calculators, or if I remember I'll link one in the description, but your BMI is basically good for just knowing where you are body weight compared to height wise, and it doesn't really matter significantly. Also, people who are really muscular, the BMI scale tends to say they're overweight because their muscle is heavier than fat, so their muscle mass makes them seem heavier. So the BMI isn't really that accurate or that important. Something that is quite crucial in this entire cutting, bulking deal is the BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And that is, if you were in a coma, how many calories your body would burn per day. Again, you can Google any calculators for this, or I might link one down below that I think works well, but they all generally give you the same number. The third term is the TDEE, which is the total daily energy expenditure. Now, the BMR was when you're laying comatose, how many calories you burn in a day. The TDEE is that plus your movement and daily physical activity, how many calories that adds up to. I'll give you myself as an example so you understand it better. My BMR is 1,100 calories because I'm a pretty small human being, and my TDEE ranges from 1,600 to 1,800 calories depending on my physical activity. If I were to cut or go into a caloric deficit, which is when I burn more than I eat, I would eat at around 1,300, 1,400 calories. It's very important not to go under your BMR because, remember, that's when you're in a coma, and if you can't sustain yourself even to just lie motionless, then you're pretty much starving yourself and dying. From personal experience, eating at about 1,200 calories leaves me feeling very, very hungry. So a sustainable caloric deficit, if I were to go on a cut, would be 1,300, 1,400. My maintenance calories would be 1,600 to 1,800, as that is my TDEE. And if I were trying to bulk up, gain some muscle, I would eat at around 2,000-ish calories. I think it's important to mention that if you're trying to bulk to gain muscle mass, you are going to gain some body fat with it, more or less depending on whether you increase your calories to just above your TDEE or go all out and go way above. But generally when people bulk, they go on a cut right after, so first you grow the muscle and then you reduce the fat from around the muscle, so in the end you look absolutely shredded. The healthy way to cut or bulk, or just live actually, is to eat whole, unprocessed plant foods, which are high in nutritional value. It's especially important if you are cutting and eating less calories to eat extremely nutritionally dense foods, so you get the same amount of nutrition in the lower amount of calories. This means eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables and a lot of whole grains, beans, nuts, and legumes. If you're going to cut to lose weight for an event in the near future, like a wedding or something, and you want to decrease your calories by a quite large amount, then the thing I recommend is raw foods. Eating raw foods means you get to eat massive portions for the same amount of calories. So, for example, instead of eating a cup of beans, you could have a giant bowl of romaine with all kinds of veggies and sprinkle in, I don't know, some tahini dressing or something. And you'd have the same amount of calories in both, but if you're eating the salad, then you're going to feel much more satisfied because it's a massive plate of food. If you're trying to bulk as fast and as efficiently as possible, I recommend eating a lot of high-calorie, nutritiously dense foods like beans, nuts, and grains, because they're not going to make you as bloated and you're not going to feel like this bulking thing is too hard, and so you're not going to quit. Also, the more nutritiously dense the food and the higher the fiber content, the less of it is going to be stored as fat, because your body can't store fiber. Another important thing when you're cutting or bulking is your mindset. You shouldn't feel restricted eating the amount of calories or the type of food you're eating, because if you're feeling restricted, then you're going to fantasize about the food you can't have, and you're not going to be able to complete your cut or bulk or whatever you're trying to do, and 2, you're going to just feel miserable. I think you should fall in love with the types of food you have to eat. For example, if you're bulking, you can, instead of just having dry, plain chickpeas or something as your high-calorie lunch, you can make burrito bowls or chili or something delicious that you look forward to eating. Also, oats are a very popular bulking food because of their high calorie and high fiber content. But oats don't have to be boring. There's tons of delicious oatmeal recipes in the world that you can use to make your bulk seem fun. And the same goes for if you're on a cut. There's amazing salad dressing recipes all over the internet. And fruits are basically nature's candy. They're so good. Fall in love with the diet that you're eating, and you're not going to feel restricted and horrible. This is also why I don't recommend cheat days, because I feel like that puts you in the wrong mindset. I feel like if you have to be looking forward to that one day of the week or one day of the month when you get to eat whatever you want, then you're never truly gonna make a habit out of your eating, and you're just gonna be looking forward to that one meal or that one day your entire life. And I don't think you should live like that. And the last thing I want to mention before wrapping up this video is logging your calories. I feel like this isn't necessary if you know how many calories are in each type of food. Like, if you know how much one portion of grains is and about how many calories is in each type of grain. So basically just have an idea of the caloric content of each food group, and then you're basically good to go. If you do want to log what you eat, there's 2 apps that I recommend, MyFitnessPal and Chronometer. Chronometer is definitely my favorite because I'm not on a cut or a bulk or anything. I log my maintenance food just because I'm really interested in the nutritional value, and lists and graphs just really put me at peace and I really enjoy them. That's why I log what I eat, but it's not for calories or anything. But Chronometer has a great nutritional chart that has all your requirements, and you can see the things get from red to yellow to green when you've reached your amount of nutrients, and I don't know, I think it's really fun. MyFitnessPal is, however, easier for people who eat more processed food or who are on the go more, because it has a lot of like pre-made foods, while Chronometer focuses on whole foods and you have to make your recipes from each ingredient. Also, MyFitnessPal is available on mobile for free, and Chronometer is a paid app on mobile, but I have it open on the Safari app on my phone and it does the job, so it's fine. Some people also use MyFitnessPal and Chronometer to track macros. I will do a video in the future on macro counting and what I think of it, but if you want to track your macros, you can do that with those. I hope you found this video useful or motivating or whatever, I don't know, just thanks for watching it anyway. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!